I'm so excited to have everyone here today. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to join, and while we are doing that, I'm going to go ahead and add Meg to the live. Meg is one of our past students, and she is absolutely incredible. She is on track to pay off $35,000 worth of consumer debt using the tips and the tools and the strategies she learned in our 3-month coaching program. So I'm bringing her on today. You guys are going to absolutely love her energy and her story, and I cannot wait to share this with you. Having a beautiful day. My kids actually slept this morning, and so if both of them sleep after 6 a.m., it is like a freaking miracle, and that hasn't happened in so long. And then my phone rang. My phone rang at 6:15 this morning about the buses for my kids' school, and I'm like, no, and it woke me up. Everybody else kept sleeping. It woke me up, and I couldn't get back to sleep, and I was like, oh, the one chance. The one chance that I had to sleep. I'm so upset. Okay. I don't know what's happening here. Hello, Toronto, Denver. I love that. I hope you guys are having better weather than I am right now. I'm gonna go back and try to. I always have technical difficulties when I am trying to do this because I tried to add her, but it didn't show up. So let's see. Oh, she is invited. Okay. Oh, you're here. So how do I add you? Go live with Megan. Let's see. Did that work? I don't know what's happening here. Accept. There we go.
Yay!
That's the energy I was waiting for. Okay. Megan's my freaking favorite. My favorite memories of you are like every time I jump onto the coaching call, okay, your camera was always on. You were always front and center on my Zoom, and I'd be talking, and the whole time you're like, yeah, just like loving everything. And I'm like, my personal hype woman. Like, I could not get on a coaching call and not vibe the fuck out because you were just pumping me up, and I love that so much.
Wow, that is a compliment. Thank you, Nicole. That is,
Oh
I was front and center.
I will never
like this, like.
I will never forget the energy you brought. Never, ever, ever. I would talk to my husband, get off every call, talk to my husband. I'd be like, oh my God.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel after being in the program too. So thank you so much for bringing me on so I could talk about my personal life, my personal finances.
I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction. So Meg, like I said, she joined our program. Okay, she did our 3-month coaching program, the Makin Money Moves method, and she had $35,000 of consumer debt. She felt like she was in a cycle that too many of us know too well, right? Like going into debt, trying to pay it off, going back into debt. But now she's on track to be completely debt-free by August of this year. Yes, let's freaking go. I love that for you. While she was in the program, she paid off $5,000 of debt. It's 3 months. She saved $1,900 in her emergency fund. She stopped overspending, took control of her finances, closed 4 credit cards, and got her highest interest card down to just 2% using our scripts. Let's go. She opened a Roth IRA, started investing for her future, and so much more. Guys, this is exactly why I built out our 3-month coaching program, the Makin Money Moves method, to help women stop spinning their wheels, start building wealth, and start actually living their lives. So before we get into this interview with Meg, which you guys are going to love, just wanted to remind you all that I am doing a free live coaching call. I've literally never done this before. On February 26th, it's going to be the same kind of coaching that see your face. Same kind of coaching that our students get in our programs. Okay, we actually have weekly coaching calls in our programs, but you guys are going to get one of these for free, okay, on February 26th. Going to be going through, and there's been thousands of signups already. I've been going through some of the questions that you guys have submitted. It's going to be amazing. Like, how do I start investing step by step? What's the best way to pay off debt and start investing at the same time? What are the exact steps to financial freedom? Like, how did you go from $40,000 in debt to millionaire at 30? So like I said, this is the same kind of coaching that my students get inside the program, and it is completely free. So you guys can go right now, grab your spot. It's my first link in my link in bio called Free Live Coaching Call with Nicole. So without further ado, let's get into this. Meg, tell everyone a little bit about yourself, Who are you? Where are you from? All that fun stuff.
Okay. I will be on that call that you just talked
I
about, by the way. I'm so excited. That's exciting.
sure.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Megan. I live in Northern California and I'm 33 years old. I'm getting married in June and yeah, thank you. And Nicole honestly helped with that too, so we can dive into that. But I think those are the most notable things about me. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so tell me, I want to hear more about this now. So I helped with your wedding. Tell me about that.
So okay, I just didn't have a lot of experience with like the wedding industry. So it was the sticker prices are shocking.
Mhm. Mhm. You're
Uh,
right. Yeah,
um,
it's a little bit.
so like I thought, okay, we'll get married in Mexico. It's not cheaper anymore. But what you recommended was looking for it at like our local community center,
Yeah.
and that's what we did.
I
And I'm
love
so excited.
that.
Yes.
Oh, I love that so much.
I was
WTM, baby. Why
just
pay
gonna
more? If
say,
I can get the same benefit for less,
yep.
why would I pay more for it? So I think we talked about my wedding because I
Hmm.
actually got married in Mexico. And one of the reasons why I did that was it was astronomically cheaper. I think all in, it was like 15K, including my dress. And that was with another ceremony that we had back at home for like the people that couldn't make it.
Oh.
So like and for me, I was like, okay, if I can have like one day versus a whole week, like I would love to be able to have a whole week with these people. So it was super small, like there was only 20 people there.
Mhm.
But it was just amazing. But I know we talked about that and you're like, it doesn't really work for my situation. But I'm so glad that you were able to find something else to help you fulfill that goal of like, I want to get married and I want to have a beautiful wedding, but I don't want to spend all of the money. I don't want to
Exactly.
spend all of the money.
Yeah, and I'm especially being in the program, getting into more debt to have said beautiful wedding was not an option. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to take any debt to my marriage. Like, hello, new husband, credit card
It's
debt.
It's a lot. I mean, so there shouldn't be any shame or any blame over your financial situation where you are right now. Like, I know there's so many people watching this, and maybe you're feeling that you're like, well, fuck, I have a lot of debt, or fuck, like, I even have a lot of debt for my wedding still, or whatever it is. I think we need to remember that we do the best that we can with the information that we have at the time. But as
Mhm.
we grow and as we get older and as we identify the gaps and where we are versus where we want to be, we can bridge that gap with the knowledge, right? We start learning different things and we start acting differently. And that's the only important thing, right? It's not that you need to be perfect from the jump. It's that you keep learning and you keep exposing yourself to new things so that you get to a point where you are acting in alignment with the life that you actually want to live.
Yeah. And with that, I don't know if anyone's listening, like maybe in their teens or 20s, but when you're talking about the shame, like that's why I didn't get to the program until my 30s. Like I was so ashamed of where I was that I didn't tell people. I used my credit cards to pay for dinners because I didn't want people to know that I was struggling because I was in college or just like paying for regular bills, just using these credit cards. But I didn't want people to know. I was so embarrassed. But it's not embarrassing. It's
But I think the crazy thing is we feel embarrassed about it without realizing that all the people that we're sitting at a table with, like a lot of them are probably going through the same thing. Like when you come into the program, or even like, you look at our public Facebook group, I think we have 70,000 members in there. And that's
Mhm.
70,000 women who are like, hey, I need some help. I need a little bit of help. Like I'm struggling. And like school didn't teach
Right.
us this, right? And our parents, if they didn't know, even if they did know, we've had so many people come through the program who were like, my parents were very wealthy and they're very well off, but they didn't teach me anything.
Mm.
And like they didn't show me anything. And now I just, think of money in this way, but never actually understood how to make it or how to grow it or how to
Mhm.
keep it. And so it's really up to us to learn those skills. But remember, like, you're not the only one. Like, there's a reason why, we have 2 million followers on TikTok and almost 400,000 on Instagram and 70,000 in the Facebook group. Like, because people need this information. People are hungry for this information. And a lot of us are struggling. So you shouldn't feel
Yes.
shame or blame over where you are.
Yes. Oh, testify.
Yeah, let's
That
go.
is, oh, praise. Yes.
Okay. Meg, tell tell me, where did you find us? So you said you're like, hey, this is why it took me so long to join, but where did you find us and what actually made you take that step to apply? What made you be like, okay, Nicole is the person, this is the program, this is what's going to actually help me now?
Okay, so it was the first day that I joined TikTok, and I was figuring out how to use it, and your videos popped up, and you were like, I'm a millionaire and I'm a mom. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I kind of like started watching more of your videos, and then it just went from there. I was like, you know that saying, like, don't take advice from people whose life you wouldn't want, or like
Yeah,
whose life doesn't inspire
yeah,
you. I felt really inspired by the life that you're living, so I was like, this would be the perfect person to take advice from.
yeah,
um I will say it is really scary to take a jump like that, to take a leap, especially finding something on TikTok. I was
yeah,
like, is
for
it
sure.
real? Yeah. And there's that feeling, this was my experience at least, that feeling of like almost jumping off of a cliff,
Yeah.
like that adrenaline, like that
Mhm.
fear, but also like there's such a thin line between like fear and excitement that I just knew I needed to do this because I had watched all the budgeting YouTubes. I was following a budget and it wasn't working.
Yeah,
I was checking in and seeing where my credit card balances were at the end of every month, and they were just kind of like, I don't like, they weren't going down. They were just kind of
yeah,
like going like this, each credit card. And I'd read the books, I'd done all the things, and I was like, I know I'm a smart person, but like, why it's not working? So I I took the leap. I jumped off the cliff and I said yes to Making Money Moves. You also have great coaches too. So I had my onboarding call with Coach Courtney. Shout
yeah.
out Coach Courtney. Um, wow. So yeah,
Dude, on
that was
purpose.
cool. That was planned.
I I love it. Oh my God. No, you said so many great things there. So the first thing that I want to talk about in a little more detail is like, you're like, I found you on TikTok. And I think that's such a barrier for so many people because even me, like I'm scrolling TikTok and I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of weird people on here. Like a lot of like really bad advice and like so, I'm just like, oh my God. And I think it's so strange because, well, not strange, it's just it's difficult for me, and this is why I really love sharing our student journeys and stuff. And it's like I want to show people like I'm a real person, and like yes, I start my
Yes.
video with like I'm a millionaire, da da da. You need the hook. You need the hook
Not
to get
me.
people entertained. I would be happy to just like, teach and just like write on the board and whatever, but like people want the energy, people want the hook. That's how I get people to watch the videos. That's how I get them excited about personal finance and these things that they're before like, oh my God, I don't even, I don't want to have any, this is so fucking boring. But it's so hard for me being in this industry because there are so many like bad actors and there are so many like really crappy people. So I understand people's hesitation where they're like, is this real?
Yeah.
Like, is
Yeah.
this real? Is this a
Yeah.
fucking scam? Like, you know,
Scary.
because it's scary. It's this person that you don't know. They're
Mhm.
online, and you're like, am I actually getting anything for what I'm giving? But my whole goal is like, oh my God, you can ask my husband. He can attest to this. He hates it a little bit, but I am always on my phone in the group. Somebody asks a question in the
Mm.
group, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to answer them right now. I'm like out. I'm like, I just need a minute. I need to go answer my student. Like, I want to make sure that everybody just has an incredible experience. If you show up and you do the work, right, there's no way that this process cannot work. And the way that I've designed it, like for those of you watching who don't know, I started like with my own personal financial journey, helping family, helping friends. And then I started doing this one-on-one where people would come to me and I would work with them one-on-one. And I was like, okay, well, how do I reach more people? Because there's only so much time that I have to work one-on-one with people. So like, let's look at creating a group program. How can I make a repeatable process? Like everything that I've done, how can I turn this into a repeatable process where the process is the one that gets the results? So working with these people one-on-one, I started to design the program. And that's when I was like, okay, this needs to go here. here and this needs to go here. Like the first module we have is the financial undiet. But that was a lot, like one of the last modules before, but I'm like, no, when people come in, they need the quick wins. I moved that to the beginning because just like looking at like consumer psychology, and like the psychology of the students as they were coming in, I'm like, no, you guys need, because we jumped right into mindset, and like, no, you guys are not ready for that yet. First, we need to give you the quick wins. We need to show you how to make more money. We need to show you how to save more money. We need to get you those so you're just like feeling the dopamine and you're like, yes, I'm doing it. And then you move in. So I give you what you want, then I give you what you need, and then I give you what you want again. And so just the way even that this program is structured and the things that are in the program have been refined over time. I'm constantly adding in new modules and new lessons. Like if I see a question come up a couple of times in the Facebook group, I'm like, okay, this is something that people are wondering about, and I need to make sure that this is covered in detail. So I'll go back and I'll create a new module, I'll create a new training and add that into the program. Like I'm constantly revamping and reviving it and just making sure that it has everything. And then, you know, we have the weekly coaching calls and we have the 24-hour-a-day Facebook student group that I can't seem to take a break from, and just all the things that I want people to have all of the support. And then what you said about, you know, you were doing the budgeting and it wasn't working, that was me. That was me. So like when I was in my early 20s, I was doing like the jar method and the envelope method. So, you know, I'd get my money and I'd put it into the jars and I'd be like, I don't know, like food and whatever. And like every jar would be a see-through jar and I'd put my cash in it and I'd be like, that's the only thing that I can spend in that category. And then you have to like shame yourself because you overspend in one category and then you need more for it. So then you have to like shame yourself and be like, oh, like bad, take from another jar and put it in this jar because you actually need more money there. And it's like, that didn't work. That just made me feel really crappy about myself. And it made me just want to spend more money because the way that I thought of it was like, it's like a diet. When you tell yourself that you can't have something, you're just going to want it even more. And if I told you, you know, okay, I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to eat only, like I want to lose some weight, I'm going to eat only broccoli for 4 months. Like, could I do that? Probably not. But even if I did at the end of the 4 months, okay, I would gain all the weight back. I would binge the shit out of every chocolate cake that I saw, like anything, because you restricted yourself. There needs to be a way, and this is what the program does, is to help you figure out how to enjoy your life, right? And still get ahead without the restriction, without the shame, without the blame, just using strategies that actually work and getting to the root of the problem. Like a budget doesn't fix the reason why you are where you are. It just shames you. It's a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, right? And that's why people can't get ahead.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know if we're allowed to like say, I don't want to like give things away from the Makin Money Moves program, but
No, let's talk.
All right. Here's a secret, guys. Nicole taught me about allocating versus budgeting. So just the word allocating, like I have my spreadsheet up next to me right now, and the freedom that I feel from allocating, not budgeting, because like you were just saying, like being restrictive, and I would be like, you know what? Fuck it. I hate budgeting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go buy myself shoes. Yeah.
I work hard. Yes. I work hard. I'm gonna have this. Like
so allocating versus budgeting, that blew my mind and that clicked something for me. That was so helpful. And to your point of how quickly you respond in the Facebook group, it is amazing, you guys, how even I was looking at a house and I was like, oh my God, a house in California for $150,000. I was like, Nicole, I want it. And you got on the Facebook, you did a Facebook Live so fast, and you were like, don't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
I was like, oh my God, I saw it pop up and I'm like, I hope she's not going there right now and like talking to a realtor or something. Like I just, especially from my background in real estate too, when you send that over to me, it's like, I know what to look for when I see, and I see all these red flags and I'm like, oh fuck, okay, let's get on the side, let's go through it all and like, let's just talk about this. And you know, it's not about, again, being like, don't do that. It's about like educating you. Okay, here are the things that I look for. This is why I don't think it's a good idea. And this is what I would do differently moving forward to help you feel more comfortable and confident in that process.
Yeah. And that's what we're looking at right now. More advice that you gave us that's been so helpful is looking for just, it doesn't have to be the prettiest house. Like, it doesn't have to be a total fixer-upper. Like, we still want something structurally sound.
Yes.
But an ugly home is okay. Like we can rip out the carpets, like, or exactly. What else did you say? Like the cupboards. things like that.
Exactly. Okay, one of my favorite stories, I had this client and we were looking for a home for a few months. And, you know, they were obviously, when everybody starts looking for a house, for those of you who don't know, I used to sell real estate. I was a top broker for 6 years. But when everybody starts looking for a house, they're like, I want the pretty house, right? Obviously, right? You're like, okay, I want my dream house. I want this. I want this. I want the 4 bedrooms and the detached and the double car. Like everybody wants those things, right? And then as you start looking at houses, my goal was not to be like, you can't get that. My goal was to be, let's go see these houses and see what they sell for, see if it sells in your price range. And then it's like just giving them the information and the knowledge so that they can come to the conclusion themselves kind of thing. But then, so we were looking for a few months and this house popped up and I'm like, okay, I know that the entire house is pink. Like the entire inside of the house is pink. The cupboards, the walls, the fucking carpet, like everything. It was just the cutest little old lady that lived there. Okay. Everything was pink. It was a ravine lot though. It was a detached house. It was in their price point. And I was like, it's been on the market for a while, right? Like it's been on the market for a while because nobody wants it because it's pink, because everyone's like, oh, I want the pretty house. Like it wasn't staged, like any of that stuff. We went in, I was like, let's bring a contractor in as we're going through, see how much it's going to cost to change these things, whatever. They ended up buying the house. They got a really great deal on the property. I think they put like $15,000 or $20,000 into it. Forced appreciation. The house was worth like $150,000 more in like 3 months. Okay. And now they have their dream house. Just like, you know, and then they were able to, if they wanted to, from there, take that, sell that, like repeat the process. Like that's kind of what I did with my real estate journey, was buying properties that people weren't necessarily interested in, but I thought could be really, really great because of the location or because of the size or whatever it was. And then get it to a point where people were interested in it, cash out, move on, do it again kind of thing. So yeah. I think I went off a little bit off topic, but that's one of my favorite stories. It's like the way to get ahead is not what our parents had done. Like it doesn't work for our generation. Unfortunately, we can't just go, or like our grandparents go, get the 9 to 5, retire with a fat pension. Like it's just this, you know, buy the house, whatever. It's not going to work for us. We have to do things a little bit differently. So yeah, did I live in a house that, you know, I'd have friends come over to and they'd be like, I'd never live here. And I'm like, well, this is the house that bought me the next house, that bought me the next house. And that's the reason why I'm in my dream house today, because I was willing to do the thing that other people weren't willing to do. And this doesn't mean that you have to use your house to build wealth, but if you're willing to, you can definitely fast track your success there, right? Because a lot of people see houses simply as an asset, but in reality, they're a liability. They're not paying you. They're just taking money out of your life every month. So how do we flip that script? How do we turn it into something that can actually pay us?
Oh, I love that. Yep, I'm doing that.
I love it. Okay, tell us, Meg, a little bit more about where you were kind of financially, mentally, whatever, before joining the program.
So before joining the program, I think, like I mentioned, like the shame of spending in my 20s and in my teens. Yeah. One of my biggest shames was that I had all of this debt, and someone told me, well, the thing that you do is you just get a personal loan and consolidate all the debt. And I was like, sweet, okay. So I'm in my mid-20s now. I consolidate the debt into a loan. I'm golden. Now I'm 30. Now I have this personal loan, and I racked up the credit cards again, and I don't even know how it happened. So that is one thing where I was like, okay, that is it. Like I was tired of being mad at myself and shaming myself, because I knew that I wanted better and I knew that I could do it, but sometimes you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. No, you don't know what you don't know. And that's why it's so confusing. And even with all of the information that there is out there on the internet, you're like, okay, I have this, but is it everything I need? Is it even good? Is this even going to work? And then like what you said about getting the personal loan, I'm sure that there's people on here on this live right now that can relate to that, because it is so common. So like even when I do videos and I talk about like balance transfer cards or those kinds of things, that is one step in the, you know, debt repayment process, is to lower the amount of interest that you're paying on your debt so that more money is going towards the principal. Yes, 100%. But if we don't address the underlying reasons why we were in debt in the first place, you open up another credit card or a line of credit, whatever, you have this open now. Usually what I see happen is this gets racked back up now, and then you have double the debt. So what started out as like a solution to your problems actually just intensified what the problem was.
Yes. And also in my 20s, I worked for a big bank, and I took what I learned from their sales training. I took that as financial gospel.
Yeah.
So, and I feel guilty thinking back about all the accounts I opened and the credit cards, because one of the things was you want a credit card. It's great to have a credit card for emergencies.
Yeah, the way that the banks sell things to you, and I think it's so insidious, honestly, because you think you're going to the bank and you're like, okay, the bank, these are the people that know about money. They have my best interest at heart. I've had a lot of friends that have worked at banks and, as financial planners and that kind of thing. And like, they have quotas. You have quotas. How many accounts you need to get open, how many credit cards people need to sign up for. When they're pushing, like the rise of the home equity line of credit, that wasn't because they're like, let's be really nice and let people access their home equity. No, they're like, okay, housing prices are going up and people have money in their houses. Like one of the slogans for one of the banks was like, you're richer than you think. Just take the money out of your house. But it's like what people are not realizing and what they're not telling people is a home equity line of credit is simply a loan with your house as collateral. So if you can't pay the fucking line of credit and now you've taken, like, it's not actual money. It's just a loan with your house as collateral. And it's just the way that they sell it to people is just so gross. And it puts so many people in bad situations. Yep. And it's horrible because you think that you can trust them because you're like, well, it's the guy at the bank. It's whatever. But like they're salespeople for the bank.
Mm-hmm. Or like me, it's just young people who have no idea what the fuck, and we're just regurgitating information.
Well, you're being told that by your bosses, and you're like, I work for the bank.
Yeah.
We know about money. We're the fucking bank. It's okay.
So I love you, past Megan. Other things I was doing before your program, Nicole, I was being excited about getting a tax return. I was using Acorns. And yeah, those are some things that I was doing, but I feel like I touched a little bit on the mindset already, just about like the shame around money and hiding where I was.
Wow. How are you doing this? Why isn't it working for me?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Wish I could send it to you. I don't
Why does it feel like an Ash Trevino live or something where it's just like, oh, yeah. I can't. I love it so much. I want to interrupt you.
I'll try to sit still. Yeah. I don't know what else I could share. Oh, I had opened a retirement account in my 20s, but I closed it. I was just like not I didn't have clarity or like a clear path, and I was afraid to ask and tell anyone. So I went through over a decade of just hiding and not asking for support and not getting the support. So being in your program, I already mentioned the coaches, Rashika. Oh my God, love her.
I love her. Do you know that she was a past student? She was one of my first ever students, one of my one-on-one students, actually, that I was talking about like in the beginning. And she was just incredible. So for those of you listening, Rashika is actually our therapist. So she works on staff. She does once monthly mindset masterminds with our students. And then she also like is in the Facebook group stuff and stuff too. So if people have like mindset or behavior questions or whatever, she's always got like a worksheet for you too. She's like, oh, like, like our little therapist worksheets and stuff. I'm like, I love this so much. But she's phenomenal. And I love it because she is a past student. So she went through the program. She understands the financial situation and everything on such a deep level. And then she has that psychotherapy background. And now this is obviously not therapy. Okay. So like, she's not licensed to provide therapy to the entire world. However, she is a therapist, but it's coaching, right? So she's coaching you through these different issues. But she is phenomenal. Like she is just such like a safe place. And she just makes you feel so comfortable. And she just always has the best advice. Like I just love it so much.
Yeah. And also she will challenge us by asking us questions or asking what we think in the group, which you do that too. Shout out to anyone who's thinking about the Makin Money Moves program, their life. If you're thinking about joining it, Nicole, if you show up in the Facebook group and try to post something in the fixed mindset, she's not gonna let she's not gonna let you. You better be ready, study up on the growth mindset. Or actually that's in the first, is that in the
That's in
financial undiet?
that's in the mindset
Okay,
module.
the
And I
mindset.
think
Okay.
it's so important because like kind of we were talking about where you were stuck in your 20s and you're like, I can't do this and things are not going to change as this is how it's going to be forever. That's the fixed mindset, right? And there have been studies and we talk about the studies, like everything in the program is data backed, right? So we talk about the studies in the mindset module where it's like this mindset has been studied. The growth mindset, which is the opposite of the fixed mindset, has been studied and proven to be primed for success. So people that go into a situation and they go, okay, maybe I'm not going to be Albert Einstein, but I know that I can change my situation. I know that I can become better. I know that I can learn. It's the power of yet. It's funny, I actually got a growth mindset book for my 5-year-old and it's called The Growth Mindset Ninja. It's so cute. And so it's like the first page is like, I can't throw a baseball, ... yet. I can't ride a bike, ... yet. And it's like really just priming him. It's been actually, I'm going a little bit off topic, but for him, so because he was born with the genetic condition, he has hearing loss and he has apraxia of speech, like he's really, really struggled with his health and stuff. Oh my God, why am I going to cry? Okay, I'm not going to cry.
You can cry.
He's just had to work so hard and, oh, I'm crying on live. Okay, I told my husband, like my husband and I talk about it all the time where it's like, if it was going to happen to any kid, like he's so fucking strong and he just keeps going. Like he'll say to you like, oh, that's like, he'll say something and because of the apraxia of speech, it won't come out properly. And he'll be like, oh, I said that wrong. That's okay. Let me try again. And I'm just like,
That's
holy fuck.
amazing.
Like, I just love that so much. He knows that things are hard at the beginning when you first start learning them, and that the more you do it, the easier it gets. And just being able to ingrain that in him, especially with all the stuff that he's going through and the challenges that he's going to have throughout life, it's just amazing. And I'm going to stop talking about it because I'm going to cry. Okay. Anyways, moving on.
Nicole, I love you. That's why I love to learn from you. Like, this is why. And you're so real. Like, I love being in your world. Like, thank you for
I
sharing that.
appreciate it.
That is.
I don't know how to be anybody else. It's funny, like I've met people that like I've just known from like online and I've met them in real life and they're like, oh, you're exactly like how you are online. I'm like, I literally don't know how to be any other way. I have ADHD, I overshare, I am loud, I don't know, and the trauma, like I don't know when to shut the fuck up. So like this is just
That's
what you see is what you get. Yay! Oh my God. Okay, Meg, tell us more. We know where you were. You were having a hard time. You're like, no, I can do this. I can change it. I'm feeling fucking inspired. You come into the program. Tell us about what you were able to accomplish, what you are feeling now, all that stuff.
okay. I wrote a list. Okay. So I learned how to be honest with myself and to ask for help and to rely on community. So shout out to Jen and Rima, who are also students in Making Money Moves.
Love
Like
them.
the community that you create, where we can just be ourselves and really ask for help and try on a different way of being. Like it's so awkward to have these new money habits, but to have the support and show up and talk about it and practice using different language and practice the growth mindset,
Yeah,
that really skyrocketed my financial success.
good.
And what else? There's so many other things. Okay, I'm going to be debt free by August 2025. I have my bride savings. I have multiple savings accounts. Yeah, that feels really good to know that I can both at the same time pay off consumer debt while also saving for my goals, while also saving for my retirement.
Yes, let's freaking go.
Yes.
Let's freaking go.
It's the best feeling. That is freedom, baby. That is. Yeah, and then also these are like smaller things but really important. Not being attached to things, not being attached to the things that are around my home, like being able to sell them, donate them, just clearing space, physical space, mental space. Another thing that you taught me about is my financial set point. I raised that. I used to feel, it was so weird, but psychologically, I only felt comfortable if my account was at 0 every month. And yeah, that was my financial set point for some reason, but now it's not. Now, I mean, it's hundreds, but still at the end of the month, I'm like, fuck yeah, Megan, you have 500 bucks right now. Yes.
Exactly. Because if we're always running it back down to 0, we're always going to feel stuck. But for so many of us, that is our financial set point. We don't start panicking about our money until we're seeing 0 in the account. But if we change that financial set point to where we feel comfortable, if that's $200 or $300 or whatever it is, right? Now we're like, okay, once we get like, that's our new 0. And that's what we need to plan our finances off of. So giving yourself that buffer so we're not running into those overdraft fees and we're not, and also getting to the mindset behind, well, why was that my financial set point? Why was that where I felt comfortable? And, you know, this is where like pro athletes and lottery winners, right? They end up spending all of their money because they never update their financial set point. They're still like, okay, well, I feel comfortable with 0 as my balance. I've got millions here, but it's okay. It doesn't bother me to spend it because I'm running it back down to my comfort level.
That's so crazy. I want to say something else too. Because I've been seeing a lot of the comments, and I think that a lot of people, I don't know if they're in your program or if they're thinking of joining, but I feel like a lot of people understand where I was and like I can align with them. And I just want to say, this is just from my experience and this is just my opinion, but I don't think that there was a system built for all of us to win. And I think that as an act of rebellion, us talking about it and sharing about it and taking action to live the life of our fucking dreams, like that is what we are all meant to do. And I'm just really grateful to you, Nicole. So thank you so much because you changed everything for me.
Thank God. I'm gonna cry again.
I'm gonna cry too.
I started birth control again like a couple of months ago for my like bleeding and stuff. Personal things, but
yes.
And so I've been like so emotional, and I'm already like an extremely emotional person. So my hormones have been all over the place, but oh my God, that just it makes me so happy, and it just like I don't know, like it's easy to forget sometimes, you know, like all the bullshit online, and you get like the stupid comments and whatever, and then I'm just like, you know, you hyper fixate on like those negative things. But then it's like I come back to this and I'm like, holy fuck, like I am so grateful that I got to be a part of your journey, that I got to be a part of your life, and that I get to like help you guys. And it's like, you know, you do this for so long, like I've been doing this for 5 years now. And sometimes you forget like the impact of what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like I see it in the group and with the students and everything, but just like even just like posting on social media, like, you know, I'm getting comments today, people are like, I started investing because of you. And it's like, I have no idea who you are, but I have now had this like positive impact on your life. And that just like, it makes me so fucking happy. And I just feel really grateful. So thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you, Nicole. I can't thank you enough. I don't know if I have more to, if you want me to share more, but I'm just like, I feel like I could cry now.
If you have anything else, we're both like the all over the place. So
yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's me too. My other questions, we talked about that. We talked about that. No, we talked about that too. Is there anything else that you think that you would like to share with the group? If not, I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there anything else that you think would be important to share with the group?
Yes. Thinking back to the program, I learned just as much from the community as I did from you, Courtney, and Rashika. So not only showing up, preparing, like prepare your questions before you go to the meetings, and pay attention to everyone else in the group too, because not only were we growing together, but I was learning so much from everyone else around me. That was as useful as me getting to ask you my questions, to like just talk to you in the Facebook group was amazing. But being truly a part of the community, that inspires action, that inspires accountability. So that would be my advice for anyone who's thinking of joining the community, is like really be in it.
And I think it's such a beautiful thing too, because even like we're saying, like on the coaching calls, other people are going to have questions that you may not have thought to ask, or they're in a situation that maybe you're not in right now, but you might be in the future. And then you get to learn from them. You get to learn from their question. You're like, okay, like, maybe this doesn't apply to me right now, but like file this away for 5 years from now, and I'm going to remember this information. Or, even just seeing that other people are in similar situations to you, and you're just like, oh, holy shit, like it's not just me. And you start to feel more at ease and more comfortable. And you're like, okay. And then you see people that are going through the program and that are having all of these wins, and that pumps you up too. You're like, holy fuck, like Jessica did it. Yeah, I can do that shit too. Like, let's fucking go. So I think the community aspect of it is so beautiful as well, especially even on like Rashika's mindset mastermind calls, like the way that you guys share and the way that you guys support each other. And I just think it's such a beautiful thing. And I think it's something that's really missing from like the personal finance space, especially like, I talk a lot, like, yes, the strategy, the $1 million strategy. We need to know how to invest. We need to know the best accounts to use. We need to know the investments to buy, like all of those things, how to pay off our debt, all those strategies, important. But 80% of being good with money is mindset and behavior. Because if you're not doing the things, then it doesn't matter if you know everything, if you're not actually going to do it, right? There's a difference between knowing and doing. And that's why I designed this program as well. Is like, that was really missing from the personal finance space. There's a lot of shame, there's a lot of blame, there's a lot of budgeting, there's a lot of restriction, there's a lot of, tactic, but nobody's talking to you about the emotions behind money. Nobody's talking to you about the behaviors that create the results that you get. Because if you think of it this way, right, our beliefs create our thoughts, and our thoughts create our actions. Our actions get us all the results that we have in life. When we create a budget, or when we only focus on tactic, we are trying to change the action. We're trying to change the end of the fucking line. And then we're like, okay, we're trying to use willpower to just like will ourselves to do it. We're like, why doesn't it work long term? Why does this work for a week or two and then I drop off? Why can't I actually keep this going? Because you need to address the root cause. We need to get to the reason why you are where you're at, right? Why you're taking this action, and then change it here from the root so that the rest of this becomes fucking effortless, right? Like, I don't want you guys to just have success for 3 months while you're with me. I want this to be lifelong. Like, how long has it been, Meg, since you graduated from the program?
Almost. I graduated last May, I think.
Okay. So it's been almost a year, kind of.
Yeah.
And you're still like, you're still going strong. You're still, everything is feeling good to you. And
I started a side hustle because I learned from your income multiplier students about skills, assets, resources. So I started a side hustle. Then that became exhausting. So I started a business in the time that I
love that.
I just, I used my own skills and assets, and I'm a new business owner. So it's been amazing and wild.
I'm so happy for you. Okay. I just like, your energy has never faltered throughout this whole thing, though. And I think that is 100% part of the reason why you are successful, right? You came in and you're like, hey, no, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show up for myself, and I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to ask the questions, and I'm going to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? But because you were able to do that, you were able to show up for yourself in a way that allowed you to actually implement the things that you learned. And like, look at you. You're fucking glowing. I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy for you. And like, this is just the beginning. You're going to look back in 2 years and 5 years and 10 years and be like, holy shit, like me learning this, right? Me doing the work and putting this into action was the thing that changed everything, like the trajectory of my whole life. I can't show you guys on here. There is this visual that I absolutely love. And basically it's like showing all of your life paths, like in the past, it's like all these little black lines. And then there's a line and it's like, you are here. And like, you can't go back to these black lines. And then there's all these green lines this way. And it says, but all these life paths are available to you. And now you're on this path. I'm like trying to, you're on this path. Okay. But you could be on this path if you learn how to invest. You could be on this path if you learn how to start a side hustle. You could be on this path if you learn how to pay off your debt, right? There are so many life paths ahead of you, and you can take them as long as you just learn the thing that you need to do to bridge that gap between where you are and where you want to be. Yep. Oh, am I frozen? Am I frozen for you?
No, not for me.
Nope. Okay. Maybe we're okay. Okay. Well, if Meg's story lit a fire under your ass, because I know that it has lit a fire under mine, and I feel so pumped up right now. Remember that you don't have to stay stuck spinning your wheels where you are right now. doesn't have to be where you are forever, but the thing that's going to change that is by you making a different decision. So stop doing the same thing, expecting different results. This is my tough love to you, right? If you are going to keep doing the same thing, you are going to get the same results. 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. So if you want to do something, or if you want to have something different, then you need to do something different. If you guys have questions about the Making Money Moves Method program, on our website, it's, I think, or on our link in bio, it's the second link, Work with Nicole. The steps I used to go from $40,000 in debt to millionaire 30. There's the website there, all the information about the program, or you can email our support team, support@nobudgetbabe.com. And remember, I'm doing my free live coaching call on February 26th. It's at 6 p.m. EST. If you guys can't make it, don't worry. We will be sending out a replay, but you have to make sure you go and grab your spot if you want to be on the list to get the replay. And it's going to be fucking awesome. And I think you guys are just going to absolutely love it. And it's just so much value. And I think it's going to be life-changing. So I can't wait to see you all there.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Okay, bye, everyone. Bye.